Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here, and welcome to Jambareeqi Orange, the show where I let my patrons decide what I review. The options for this episode were Monsters Inc., Weathering With You, Flushed Away, The Banshees of Inisherin, and Smile. They chose Flushed Away. This is a collab between Aardman and Dreamworks that centres on Roddy, a house pet who gets to have the home to himself when his owners go on holiday, but his alone time is interrupted by the invasion of Sid the sewer rat. Roddy tries tricking Sid into jumping into the toilet, but Sid knows better and pushes Roddy in instead. Roddy washes up in the sewers, where he meets the captain of the Jammy Dodger, Rita. Suddenly, a pair of gangster rats turn up and try to steal Rita's family ruby, which could save her from poverty. The rats drag our heroes to their boss, the evil Toad, who mistakes the ruby for one of the Queen's jewels. Rita then gets back the ruby, steals a master cable from Toad's machine, uses it as an escape tool, and then turns said cable into a belt. However, Roddy proves that the ruby is fake, but can give Rita a real ruby if she helps him get home. Unfortunately, the Toad is on Rita and Roddy's tails because he needs the master cable for his ultimate villain scheme. Now, when I first saw this film, I didn't really feel fond of it. I never felt in the mood to rewatch it. However, I've given it another chance, and you know what? It's way better than I remember. One thing I never liked about this film was its setting, a dirty, contaminated sewer. It's a location that sets off my germophobic fears. When I rewatched this movie though, I was too invested in the film to remember that everyone is properly covered in human waste. Heck, there's a lot of creativity to this underground version of London for Rats. You can see all of the human artifacts that have been recycled to create all the details of this miniature city. I had fun spotting what each building or landmark is really made from. I also enjoyed the unlikely relationship between Roddy and Rita, this snobby privileged house pet and a feisty working class sailor. They're complete opposites, which inspires a lot of interesting back and forth banter.
You know, I think we did pretty well today. I suppose maybe I misjudged you a bit. I mean, you're not...
Do I hear an actual compliment coming?
Never mind.
No. Say it.
Well, you're not entirely the useless, whiny, stuck-up, pompous big girl blouse I thought you were.
There. Was that so hard?
I'd say that the main theme of the film is probably class dynamics. While Roddy lives a lavish lifestyle, he's very lonely at the top, because comfortable wealth means little when you have no loved ones. Contrast that against Rita, who might live in struggling poverty, but she has a very close relationship with her family, and it's a love for her family that motivates her to improve her home life. Roddy's views on life are completely changed by this humble family, who care more about being together than the state of their deeply flawed home.
So, you're from up top?
Yes.
I've met one of your lot before.
Oh, really?
Used to be some old lady's pet.
That's nice.
Terribly lonely for him, though. He had no one to talk to.
No one to cuddle with. No one to shocky.
Well, that's no life, is it?
Heck, Roddy falls so much for Rita's family that it ends up meaning a lot more when he gives his own wealth away to help them. Something that the British upper class should embrace doing more. Yes, we do get the usual cliches that we've come to expect from DreamWorks romances, one being the misunderstanding scene, in which Roddy mishears something Rita says.
So, I hand Roddy over to the Toad and claim the reward, then we're all sitting pretty for the rest of our lives. Is that the idea?
Yeah, the Toad will pay a fortune for him, and he's a bad one anyway, so that's all right, isn't it?
And drops off before hearing the rest of the context.
Oh, you cheeky little monkey. I won't have no son of mine acting the rat.
We Malones never go back on our word.
I personally really dislike this trope. It's just an excuse for forced tension between characters that ends up making our heroes come off as impatient and immature, but at least this fallout doesn't last that long, I guess. Then there's the lies reveal, another unpopular cliche. Once Rita and Roddy get to Roddy's home, Roddy tries to trick Rita into thinking that Sid is his brother Rupert. But we get the funny twist that Rita already knows Sid, which makes sense. But Rita doesn't angrily tell Roddy off, she actually feels sorry for Roddy's need to compensate for his loneliness, and feels sad that this is goodbye. It's a refreshing take on the lies reveal.
Oh, it's okay, Roddy.
Now, do I find this movie funny? Well, kind of, sort of. There are a lot of long gaps between each gag or joke that make me laugh. And I will admit that the best comedy comes from our villains' minions. I found most of the main characters' comedy unfunny, plus a bit too dependent on try-hard slapstick.
Well, I'll be seized as... Ah! Feeling major burn to the hand there. Smell of burning flesh. Maybe I should just... Ah! Ah!
Rita's housing was particularly over the top and hyperactive. But Toad's henchmen, they got loads of laughs out of me.
Careful, Whitey.
That's a banana skin.
I also love the French jokes of LaFrog.
Okay, men, to action!
We surrender!
No, not that one, you idiots! The Kung Fu thing!
Oh, and the mime scene kills me every time.
This dance of deception must end. Return what you have stolen from me.
Enough dancing!
That dry charm that I love about Aardman comes out the most whenever we hang out with the villain's underlings, who are mainly played by British character actors, while any scenes with our main hero scream DreamWorks tampering.
Real or not, that ruby was gonna change my life!
Punch and Chinese takeout!
Yes, I'm being attacked by a mad woman!
Speaking of the baddies, what did I think of our main villain? Well, I didn't find him funny, and he never seemed that menacing, but he is entertaining to watch thanks to how pompous and flamboyant he is. Owen D. McKellen carries the role so wonderfully.
You let them escape! It's obvious I should never have sent rodents to do an amphibian's job.
Plus, there's something amusing about how he treats his London knick-knack collection like an expensive museum.
It's as if you were here.
Smooth to the touch.
It's his evil motives and scheme that compelled me the most, though. You see, he was once Prince Charles's favourite pet, but he was replaced by a rat. Now he plans to open the sewer's floodgates to drown every rat he despises, so that he can repopulate the society with his own children. It's a seriously dark master plan that's still shocking to this day, plus it fits into the movie's theme of classicism. This pampered royal toad who looks down on the working class rats so much that he's willing to commit genocide against them and turn their homes into his own utopia. To conclude, Flushed Away is so much better than I recall, and I do feel kind of foolish for overlooking all the things that make it good. It's like Romancing the Stone if it was set in a sewer. But you can tell that this was the film where DreamWorks and Aardman's relationship was reaching a last straw, which had already been strained during the making of the Wallace and Gromit movie. Its pop culture references, gross-out gags, and brash humour are clearly attempts to recapture the smash success of Shrek, which results in Aardman's distinct Britishness being toned down dramatically. I don't think it deserved to underperform at the box office, but I do understand how it was a marketing failure. So those are my thoughts on Flushed Away. What do you think of this film? Let everyone know in the comment section below, and don't forget to click that like button. So what am I going to be reviewing in the next episode of Jambareeqi Orange? Well, that's entirely up to my patrons. The options include John Wick, Dungeons and Dragons, Scream 5, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, My Neighbor Totoro, and Monsters vs Aliens. Now don't forget that you have to be a patron in order to access this poll. What is a patron? Don't worry, I'll explain.
This is my Patreon. It's a site for my fans to support me financially on through a monthly basis. Those who donate are called patrons. Patrons can donate as much as they want and are welcome to stop donating anytime. In return for their generosity, patrons are given exciting rewards based on their pledge amount. These rewards include early access to my videos before they go up publicly on YouTube, behind-the-scenes content, their name in the end credits of my videos, a chance to request a review of anything at all, and much more.
Very excited to find out which film my patrons pick. I've been Jambareeqi. Cheerio, folks.